Hello, my name is Roland Maxwell, and I'm the Managing Director of an IT company that specialises in the development of websites and online applications. In talking to you, I guess what I'm hoping to achieve is to distill what I'm a bit shocked to realise is more than 2 decades of experience in web development, and in the hope that that experience will help you have happy and successful projects. I was thinking about what I'm going to talk about today as I was looking for a shirt to wear. You know, in this Zoomy world, we all have to worry about what our upper half looks like, even if we're wearing mockies and Hawaiian shorts down below. So I was looking through my shirts and I picked this one because this shirt is actually a bit more than a couple of decades old too. And a shirt in its own way is a piece of technology. And the whole concept of fast fashion versus slow, sustainable fashion, to me, seemed a really good analogy for websites and how to do websites well. We have some websites that are still out there doing a job 7 years later, and with the clients having no intention of redeveloping them. And like this shirt, the reason they don't need to redevelop them is because the fabric of them is good and the design is good and durable. So there are a number of things that I want to talk about with you. And one of them is when people go to a web project, the first question I always like to ask people is, do you really need a new website? So that's one of the things that I want to look at, is what would be the grounds for redeveloping something, and when are the signs there that in fact what you need to do is take a breath, improve your content and not have a new design. The other sorts of things that I'd like to talk about is thinking about the impact of your software choices on the whole of your organisation. People often focus very much on the front end of things, and that can lead them into some expensive mistakes in terms of the human experience they generate for their own staff. So it's a good time to talk about what happens to the back office when you do something shiny out in the world. One of the other things that I'd like to talk about with you is how to design a good website, what the sort of principles and processes that you should use are. And among other things that I want to consider are things like information design, how you choose an appropriate technology. As well as that, I'd also like to talk about some techniques, for example, usability testing, why it's such a valuable thing, and how to do it yourself, that you can actually do it yourself if you follow some simple guidelines. Another thing I'd like to talk about is accessibility, what it actually is and how to do it well. Oh, about the shirt. You may be wondering, did he buy it in a vintage shop or has he owned it from new? Well, interesting fact, and so glad you asked. I actually bought this shirt from new last century and I wore it heaps. And then after a while I thought, it's probably getting a bit unfashionable. And so it was consigned to the dark end of the wardrobe. And then a few years ago, I looked at it and I thought, that's still a really good shirt. Why don't I just keep wearing it? And so I have continued so to do. So that's just an example of how really good design can keep going. So I hope you haven't been shocked at the outmoded nature of my shirt, but personally, I think it's quite fashionable. If this has been helpful, please follow the link below to stay in touch, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.